First, I want to thank, as others have, Luciano, Friedrich Nettermeyer, and especially the technical assistance that the Italian Rotarians have provided to put this very complicated program together. I've never seen anything like it, actually, so congratulations. This way we brought so many people to a conference that we wouldn't have been able to do even without the pandemic. The bad news, of course, is it's not a face-to-face conference. And about now, we would be stopping for a coffee break, and we would be gathering in small groups, networking. And obviously, we cannot do that. So I would just encourage you all, if you haven't, to stand up and stretch, get a beverage. You won't miss much if you missed my speech. It's okay. I'll be repeating a lot of things that have been said. Also, I want to recognize a participant that's out there somewhere. Many of you who've been in Youth Exchange may know Robert Shoemaker. Robert is now 100 years old. He was instrumental in starting Youth Exchange in the United States and in many places around the world. So congratulations, Robert. I hope when I'm 100, I can participate in one of these as well. So how can NGSE benefit Rotary Youth programs? Oops, I forgot to start my timer so that I don't go over. Well, initially, because our program is still relatively new and quite small, I think it's other youth and young adult programs that are going to be more beneficial to NGSE than NGSE can be beneficial to them. Eventually, I think it can be a great benefit to other youth and young adult programs. As we've heard already, we know that NGSE is not well known in Rotary. So that's the bad news. The good news is we have nowhere to go but up. We can improve dramatically. Now, what are the youth and young adults that are most likely to be able to help us? That would be Youth Exchange, Rotaract, and to an extent, both Interact and RILA. Why do I say this? Because we can aggressively promote NGSE to the participants of those programs as opportunities for service, vocational development, and international travel. Could you imagine if we have brief videos and other promotional materials to give to an Interact club to show at a meeting of theirs? I know I joined the American Peace Corps, a volunteer organization, when I graduated from university. But I first heard about it when I was in high school. And when someone told me about it, I knew I was going to do that. I didn't know when and I didn't know how, but it sparked that interest in me. And I think we can do the same thing by aggressively promoting this program as a part of a meeting of any of the youth organizations in Rotary. Eventually, NGSE alumni become potential members of Rotaract and Rotary. And I hope we can do a better job of bringing them in to those organizations than Youth Exchange does. I've been doing Youth Exchange for 32 years, and the most common story I hear from young Youth Exchange officers is, I was an exchange student 20 years ago, and no one ever invited me to join Rotary. I had to find it myself. So those alumni can be members of Rotary and Rotaract, and they are ones who have been exposed to the core concepts of Rotary. They have now in their hearts the experience of service in general and service to youth. I've been brief as I can. The questions that I have developed for this include which youth and young adult programs would best be able to promote NGSE. Now, this is the opposite of the title of the presentation, but if we're going to build our program, if we look within Rotary, which are the programs that we could use to promote NGSE? The second question is, how should Rotary promote NGSE alumni participation in Rotary? We have a number of choices, simply inviting them to join Rotary. It's so simple, but it's frequently not done. We can encourage them to join Rotaract as well. We can create an NGSE alumni group, and we can encourage those alumni to have in their Rotary clubs. And there may be other suggestions. We're wide open to suggestions from other people. And what other benefits could NGSE provide to Rotary youth and young adult programs, such as increasing the concept of service above self, promoting the concept of vocational service among young adults, leading youth programs, and recruiting youth to join Rotary youth programs? And finally, how would you convince your district that NGSE can benefit youth programs? What's in it, as we heard in the first workshop? What's in it for your district? What's in it for your club? We can make the alumni members of your clubs. Rotary membership is declining in most places in the world. We can have the alumni at least speak at meetings. We can have the alumni visit Rotaract and Interact meetings, and we can put alumni in touch with RILA alumni and Rotex, which is the Youth Exchange Alumni Group. So this is my presentation. I think that it's time for me to turn it over to the president to lead a discussion and invite our presenters, other presenters, to give their opinions and reactions. So thank you for your attention, and I wish I could give every one of you out there a hug like we normally do at these conferences.
Perhaps you can also comment and give a few comments on the answers. We are seeing now the results of the polls.
Okay. Well, not surprisingly, your opinion is which youth and young adult programs could best promote NGSE, and over half of you think Rotaract. It's obviously a natural because the members of Rotaract are generally right in the age group that we're targeting for NGSE. But Youth Exchange is not too far behind. I can tell you this, I do a dozen rebound retreats a year with former Youth Exchange students. And when I start talking about NGSE, everybody starts paying attention. And it's where I've gotten most of my participants in NGSE have been former exchange students. The second one, how should Rotary promote alumni participation in Rotary? Encouraging them to join Rotaract, so we get a positive snowball effect of getting members, participants from Rotaract, and then getting them into Rotaract. Many of you said invite them to join Rotary, and I just want to say I can't believe how many times I've had people tell me, former exchange students that become Rotarians, that no one ever asked them to join. Number three, what other benefits could NGSE provide? Promoting the concept of vocational service among young adults is the highest that's indicated here. And certainly recruiting them to help with other youth programs and promoting service above self. How would you convince your district that NGSE can benefit youth programs? Well, that's a good one. Have alumni speak at meetings. We're always looking for presenters, right? And we know that former Youth Exchange students and former NGSE participants almost never hesitate when we ask them to give a presentation. They love to talk about it. So I'll stop now.